You're tuned into the New Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon at BringingDownTheBand.com and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, and Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the New Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
Episode 117 of the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. I make beats, have the hard drive to prove it. Apparently everybody else at this table has a hard drive as well.
For the last 10 episodes.
I no longer feel special. Lonegevity. We distribute dopeness. I see you. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
I see you rocking a new mic, man. I see you.
You ain't got to like show out like that.
Just saying, it looks nice.
Yeah, you know, some tests.
Yeah, tests are good.
How are you, Michael?
I'm doing pretty good. Good to see you as always, my brother.
Okay.
Okay.
In the corner as always, fresh to death. Fresh to death, rolly on. DJ Jay Diff.
Salutations.
How you doing, brother?
I'm all right, man.
Good.
What makes you think this is a rollie, though?
I ain't going to put you out there like that.
You already
did.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man. You all right?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. Can't
Word?
complain.
Keep you staying warm?
Trying, man.
Word?
It's warmer today than it was this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
Snow.
team's doing all right? You got on the Cleveland Cavaliers hat today.
Long story. To my immediate
I'm just
left,
saying.
the incomparable DJ Spoolz.
Hello, Michael.
How are you, sir?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Doing good as always. I see you rocking the Cubs garb as always.
Yeah, man. Just grab this out of the box.
Yeah.
Garb.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
say garb.
to Terry's or your point. It's wasn't too chilly today, which was nice.
Yeah.
Temperature went up like 25 or 30 degrees in a day.
Did you go to Chili's with your boys? Because I wasn't invited.
No.
Wow.
All right.
What are you talking about?
Never mind. Just a little movie quote.
thought you was getting emotional on us. Nah. You sure?
What's
Y'all
that?
remember that when Kenny Powers? It wasn't
Oh,
Kenny
yeah.
Powers. But he's like, I'm going down to Chili's with my boys.
That's right.
I'm asleep. We got to pull that up.
Okay.
I'll take your word for it, though.
Cool beans.
Yes, sir. Episode
Cool beans.
117.
Cool beans.
Shout out to the spot. Lone is in his bag on the sounds.
Have you ever seen Hot Rod?
Yeah.
That's what that's from, right?
Nah, it's from the movie where who was in there? Somebody was like traveling with an urn or something.
What?
I can't remember who was in it, but he
Travel
stopped
with an urn.
Yeah, like somebody's ashes.
Shout out to Paul Bearer.
And somebody else was pregnant. Was trying to get to the
Rest in
chick he
peace.
got
Did he
pregnant.
pass away?
Paul Bearer? Like
Yeah,
the
from
Undertaker's
WWE.
dude?
Yeah, didn't he just pass away?
That guy? I don't know. Rest in peace if he did. Rest in peace if he did. I loved wrestling when I was like 9 years old.
Wrestling.
Yeah. I think it's neat when the cats from Griselda, they do a lot of wrestling references.
They do.
I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
But it's old school wrestling often.
West Side Gun must be like the biggest wrestling fan ever because he stay dropping. I'm talking like to his point, vintage names.
Like when these dudes, like
Wow.
Gene Okerlund, Mean Gene Okerlund just passed away. Rest
He
in
did.
peace, Mean Gene. And they brought that up. Like when Bobby Heenan, rest in peace, Bobby. He passed.
Who's on the cover of the joint?
Chris
with the-
Benoit.
Chris
Yeah,
Benoit.
man. Rest in peace, Chris Benoit.
Yeah, so shout out to them, man. That's what we grew up on. That was amazing.
Ultimate
by the
Warrior.
way.
Hey yo.
Yeah, that was dope. I used to watch wrestling. I was heavy into wrestling.
Ratchet?
Did I say
thought it
that?
was
Or
real.
you get hit? I did.
I think we all thought it was real to
Oh,
a
when
certain
I was
point.
8, I did, yeah.
I was hurt. I was a little upset as I got older.
Was you a Hulkamaniac?
I am a...
I fool with the Undertaker. That was my dude. You know what
All
I'm
right,
saying?
so that's okay.
But
Later
when
on.
I mean,
Y'all remember the cartoon though?
yo, that's the best thing.
Do y'all remember
That's
the This is back when it was WWF. The
Yes, sir.
WWF cartoon.
I
Y'all
don't.
remember that?
I don't remember the cartoon.
No.
Yeah, it had Hulk Hogan, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was
Oh,
in there. Junkyard Dog.
Dude,
I think
Junkyard
Macho
Dog was
Man.
no joke. I think he's from like Detroit, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know
Junkyard
where
Dog.
he's from. He used to wear
he-
that big ass chain on his neck.
I definitely remember watching a documentary about, I don't know, somebody, I think it was like Crime in Detroit or something, but they were talking about Junkyard Dog used to either come through and like cop dope from them or
damn, they
was
out
like
there on that
muscle
dope.
for him at the dope house. One or the
Believe
other,
that.
man. But I was like, word.
Why does that sounds so believable?
Coco
to me.
Beware was on there too, I think.
Yeah, he was-
And,
he was a true-
Superfly Jimmy.
I was just going to bring him up, man. Superfly Jimmy Snuka was that dude.
Yeah, he was.
Hey, but don't get it twisted. Hulk Hogan was that dude. I'm not trying to hate. I'm
Nah,
just
dude.
saying.
Ultimate Warrior was better.
Yeah.
Hillbilly Jim. Y'all remember him?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like Honky Tonk Man, that era. Like, who else am I
Yeah.
The
missing?
dude would bust that guitar over.
That was
Yeah.
real wrestling.
That was real wrestling.
Getting at it.
Shout out to Mr. Perfect too. That was my
Mr.
dude. Low
Perfect,
key.
Jake the Snake. What about $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase?
Roddy Piper.
I ain't like how they was playing Virgil though. Virgil
They
had
played Virgil.
He had slave movements out there. You know what I'm
That's-
saying?
that's
What
true.
about
It was
Zeus?
pretty
Remember
effed
when
up.
Zeus was in there?
Huh?
Yeah.
Remember when Zeus was kind of
yeah.
playing that back row?
Yeah. I mean, I fool with Ted DiBiase, but you know, Virgil had a lot of slave movements, man.
Well,
I
Virgil should
wouldn't-
have known better.
I wouldn't
man.
know that.
Was it
Should've
Mr.
known better.
Perfect or Ted DiBiase that just made their own belt once?
That was the $1 Million
That was
Man.
Ted
Yeah.
DiBiase.
Do you guys remember when it was WWF and then WCW?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But they didn't acknowledge one another.
Nah.
Nope.
Back in the day.
I used to have a video game. It was WCW wrestling. Had
That's, yeah.
had
Like
the-
Ultimate or
the dragon guy. What was his name? I forget.
Ricky the
Dragon
Steamboat.
Steamboat.
Yep, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
You talking about WCW?
Yeah,
that
was
was
started
the road,
out with
the Road
WWF.
Warriors were on WCW.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Hawk and Animal.
Yeah.
Sting was on
And
there
then
too, I think.
they did like a swap. Because I actually didn't like WCW until they started doing like NWO and
I ain't fool
shit
with
like
NWO
that.
though because I thought Hulk sold out
He did.
WWF.
That's when I started falling off, like
Yeah.
way before that.
He had the black beard. Like I
I was like, what's up
man,
with your spray painted fucking facial hair, Hulk?
he's the original Bijan.
Yeah, I was
BG
cool. I was
character.
cool on the NWO.
Yeah.
I can't remember if they mixed them together, but
Hall and Nash.
Hall and Nash, yeah.
They got a song, Conway and West, called Hall and Nash. It's pretty
Word.
dope, yeah.
Because Scott Hall. Let's see, Scott Hall was Razor Ramon, right? Or no?
No, that was no.
Who am I confusing him with?
One of them was the Big Show. Was that his name?
Yeah, Big Show.
That was Nash, right?
Was
Kevin
that Nash?
and then Triple H.
No, Triple.
Was
I
he
don't-
in there?
I don't think he went over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man,
What
old
you know
school
about-
wrestling, man.
We know about Yokozuna
Wow.
Just
Or-
sit on boys.
or Bam Bam Bigelow.
Bam Bam was
All
that
that.
dude with the fiery. Was that
Yeah.
Bam Bam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like Action Bronson.
Was he the dude that used to powerbomb people?
I don't know.
No, that was who was that dude? I definitely remember Lex Luger back in the
Ultimate
day.
Dragon. Was that his name?
Well, there was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
I don't
No,
know.
I
Ultimate
think you
Dragon.
just mixed two wrestlers together.
Maybe I did. I was thinking of. Hold up.
mixed
Now I gotta look it
Ultimate
up.
That was
Warrior.
your name. in
Ultimate
wrestling.
Warrior. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
They
what I'm
had,
thinking of.
they low key.
But who's the dragon? What's the dragon's name?
Ricky the Dragon
Steamboat.
Steamboat.
I think there was
They-
somebody else.
There
They
might
had-
have been another. Oh, was it the dude that had like he blew the?
Well, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat started doing that.
Was it? See, I thought there was another dude that did that though.
They had me thinking Lex Luger had like a metal plate.
Yeah,
in
he
his
would
elbow.
knock dudes out. Just
Yeah.
No, he had who had the wood? That was
That was
Hacksaw.
Jim Duggan.
right?
he had
I
the
think
2x4.
Hacksaw was a little retarded.
I don't know
Don't
if he
do
was
that.
all there.
Don't do that.
You know, Terry, the lights were on. I'm not sure anybody was home.
World Championship Wrestling.
Terry out here trying to
that
make
game was fun.
Terry out here trying to tell our followers that Hacksaw Jim Duggan was getting a check. Don't do that.
Swear to God, you didn't think that.
I mean,
Even as a kid, you knew something was wrong with Hacksaw.
I didn't think he
Jim
was
Duggan.
getting a check though. I thought it
Screw
might have
loose.
been a little something wrong.
You knew something was wrong. You didn't know nothing about getting a check back then. You just like something's different.
Something's
about
wrong with that guy.
Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Macho man. Man, real quick though, before we get off this topic, I watched or listened to Joe Rogan's podcast from time to time. He's got a lot of good guests, but he's had Jake the Snake on.
Nice.
I definitely suggest checking that out because he tells old like Andre the Giant stories,
Word.
and they're really good. Like Andre the Giant was that dude for real.
You know what's
Dude
crazy?
drank a case of beer on like a 2-hour car ride or something crazy like that. I mean, just crazy stories like that.
You know what's crazy? Anytime I've had a chance to listen to older wrestlers talk about, him, I've never heard anybody speak bad about him.
No, Andre,
That
rest
I
in
know
peace to
of.
him too. Andre was and he was great in
The
what was
Princess
it?
Bride.
The Princess Bride, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So, shout out to Memory Lane, man.
Yeah, for
was-
sure.
was
Wrestling.
love. Wrestling.
Had the figures.
This started because of what were we talking
I
about?
don't even know.
Like Kenny Powers. What was the movie that the Kenny Powers guy was in? It was like a wrestling movie or something. I forget the
You
actor's
got me.
name.
Oh, his name's Danny McBride.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember a wrestling movie he was in.
He was in Hot Rod, where I asked Terry if he'd seen Hot Rod, but that was where Andy Samberg does like stunts. He's the main character in that. But
Okay.
Word.
Well,
Shout out to the sponsors, Coleman Dental, 317-255-8546. Make sure you get your teeth right. Bringing down the
Do they do
band.com.
grills?
Next time I talk to
Brian
Dr.
Fast,
Coleman,
man.
I'll see. But
Yeah,
no,
Doc-
I don't think so.
Okay, it's
But
worth
maybe,
a shot. Yeah,
maybe I don't know.
just
Yeah.
wondering.
We'll figure that out. Let y'all know.
What kind of pressure material are you trying to use?
I was thinking platinum or diamonds.
Nice.
Diamonds, okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Might be a new market for him.
Perhaps
I don't know.
a lot of people rap here, so might be good.
They can't
I mean
afford
real
that,
ones. That's what I was gonna say.
A
real one.
I ain't gonna talk about the budget. You know what I'm saying?
Or
Shout out
even
to
just permanence. But yeah, keep going. I'm sorry.
bringing down the band.com as always. One of our sponsors as well, Printfinity. Support your local businesses, people out there making those moves. Indie CD and vinyl, we appreciate them as well. And as always, no bad ideas. They've laced us yet again. The netted boy on the back. This is throwback. I like this though. This is dope. So we appreciate our sponsors. Thank
With
you
the
all.
hound's tooth on the bill.
Yes, this is dope. I'm with this. Appreciate all our sponsors as well as the patrons. We appreciate you all as well for rocking with us and supporting us. So we appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing. It is not going unnoticed.
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep supporting us.
Keep supporting us. Yeah,
It's very
we appreciate it.
appreciated. Means a lot.
All right, so let's see. Let's go with the Lincoln Memorial.
All right.
I saw this. A lot of privilege going on here. So there's a group of Catholic high school students that came to D.C. for a field trip. That it was for the rally for the March of Life. There was an elderly gentleman there. His name was Nathan Phillips, and he was there to raise awareness for the Indigenous Peoples March. It was right outside the Lincoln Memorial. There's a video going around online of these kids standing around this older gentleman, has like a tribal drum, and they're making fun of him. They got MAGA gear all around, laughing, clowning, joking. And to me, that's people are just seeing it and looking how mad disrespectful it is, but it also shows where we are, that people are so comfortable they can just come up and disrespect someone of that age. It wasn't bothering them, wasn't saying anything that was negative. He was just there, you know what I'm saying, for his cause as well as they were for theirs. And I saw the MAGA gear and these young kids just, messing with them.
Do you know why it happened, though?
I mean, this is what I saw. I was going to ask y'all to enlighten me on what I may have missed. This is what I saw. But to me, it looked like they were taunting him from the videos that I saw. Is that wrong? Is there something that I missed there?
So this story got bigger this week after that initial video came out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. I think it was Fox News. Might not have been, but it was more of a conservative, paper or whatever network came out and said that there was more to that story.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that they felt, or this particular network or others felt, that the kids from the Catholic school were being unfairly characterized. The kid who stood face to face with the one gentleman who had the drum was interviewed, and I'm pretty sure a PR firm probably put this kid's statement together.
He had a few days to get his story together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but here's what's interesting, and here's what nobody saw. There's a almost 2 hour long video on YouTube, and I watched some of it.
I did too.
That is taken by a group of, I think it's 4 or 5 black Israelites that were also
Hebrew
there protesting.
yeah.
Okay.
So if you're familiar with the Black Hebrew Israelite movement, Kendrick Lamar references it a number of times on the Damn album, but it's something that I think it's interesting. It's just interesting to look into. I definitely suggest you do, just to see what they're talking about. But they were there also, and they had like a megaphone, and the kids from the Catholic school were all walking around too, and black Israelites, they believe that they are the lost tribe of Israel, essentially. Yeah. But they were, quoting from the Bible while, during their part, but they were also interacting with these white kids that were from this school, right? And those interactions probably weren't super positive, in my opinion. I mean, hopefully some kids learned, but there was language from the black Israelites that was not great, I would say.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Calling, gay slanderous terms. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't dislike that movement at all, but I think it's very safe to say that they're not pro-white. You know what I'm saying? And I think that came through. I mean, pro-white's probably not the best term. They're an extremely pro-black group. You know what I mean? They're often labeled, I don't know if it's true or not, as a a black supremacist group sometimes, right?
The language used in general was it was almost hateful in a
Yes,
way, and
it
it
was.
was almost just tactless, I guess is the better way to put
I
it.
agree. There were a couple guys in that group that I thought had some tact in
Yeah.
the Black Israelites group. However, all that aside, so a lot of people didn't see that part, but all that aside, you then see the gentleman, Mr. Phillips, coming through with the drum, and he's just standing there, and the Israelite group that's there, they recognize him, and they're mentioning like, oh, he's here, and something along those lines. But the thing that bothers me is, and it's not as easy as I don't think they were taunting him necessarily. I really don't feel like you can actually hear these kids saying, I don't know what's going on. I think it was a super confusing situation for a lot of people. But here's what I did notice. When you see all those fucking smiles on those white kids' faces, and they don't really understand why that man's there, and they certainly weren't, and they're young or whatever, but they certainly weren't making any attempt to truly understand what the Israelite guys were talking about either. It is a form of white privilege. They can just sit there with these fucking smirks, and I saw somebody on Twitter sum it up way better than I possibly could, and then I'll pass my time, or I'll pass the mic on over to somebody else, but it was put way better than I could have said it by another a white gentleman, and what he said was...
What'd he say, Spoolz?
He said, reading the Covington kids' side of the story is making me red-faced and nauseous because I recognize in it exactly the kind of sniveling, pseudo-mature arrogance that I would have used as a piece of shit white teenage boy who thinks he doesn't deserve to get in trouble.
Man.
That is what was being shown there.
Yes.
That's
and
tough.
a lot of people can't really understand that, I don't think, especially when it comes to... It's not as simple as just it's a media thing or something like that. But me as a white person, having known now all of it, I don't feel like those kids were necessarily unfairly characterized. Like there is that arrogance there. That's what was going on in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to report it on because it's not super black and white. It's a little deeper than that. I
Right.
think. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of coincide with what you just said based off what I seen on the incident. What was interesting as well is the kid's mom was quick to pretty much call the black Israelites Muslims.
Right.
Did you notice that? And it's that's the problem in America, period. It's always if it's Muslim, it's bad. It doesn't matter what kind of Muslim it is.
Right.
Yep.
And once everybody finds out they're the black Hebrews or whatever, it changes the story. And it depends on, too, what video you seen of what was going on about what you actually are shown.
The video I saw, the second one, the almost 2-hour one, was the one that was actually shot by the black Israelite groups
right.
that were there.
So you have a few different angles of what's going on. And even when the kid made his statement, which was about 2-3 days later, after, you know what I'm saying, he's had time to kind of put something together that's going to sound cohesive and sound politically correct. I mean, it doesn't mean anything at this point because you have video evidence of how you all were acting in front of this Native American man that was pretty much doing his chant. And in my opinion, I think they were mocking him because you see a lot of people, a lot of the kids doing like tomahawk.
That's what I saw. That's what I saw.
And chanting. And
I noticed that they were clapping. I guess they started clapping when the drum came. And I guess I didn't necessarily. It's hard not to watch that and see them smiling and laughing and not think it's mockery.
Yeah.
So I'm not staunchly defending that they weren't. So they could have been, but I didn't take it as that. I took it as what I said otherwise, which was just this fucking arrogance. Like, if you really knew what that man was talking about and if you really could understand... Because I understand what the black Israelites are talking about.
That's why I was saying that I was siding with you on that part. Yeah.
Like, then you shouldn't be there fucking smiling.
Right. Because that's just ignorance in itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what's crazy about that particular Catholic school, they have a lot of history as far as doing racist bullshit. So they had the incidents at the high school basketball game where they actually dressed in blackface. Okay. And they're throwing up the white power symbol with their hands and things like that. This is the same school. So you can't put anything past them meaning something different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Based off what you saw. That's just how I feel about it.
I agree with that. Jump in, Lone.
The only argument that I'll put out there is that they are kids, and they are privileged kids, mind you. But we talk about them being educated at the same time. From where are they going to get that education from in Covington Catholic School in Kentucky? So it's not defending it. It's not surprising. You know what I mean? It's like I expect those kids to act like that. You know, like to an extent. You know, not that you expect people to do that, but if you look in the crowd, I saw pretty much all white kids.
Right. You didn't see any of their parents either, though.
At all.
Like,
No
generally,
chaperones or whatever.
Yeah.
We used to have chaperones when we would do things like that, and we weren't supposed to act like that.
I listened to Mr. Phillips' interview, and he said his sentiments were the same. The interviewer flat out asked him, "Do you think the kid that stood in front of you should be punished anyway?" And he was like, "No." He's like, if anybody should be punished, it's the adults or the parents or the chaperones that were supposed to have been there, because had they done what they probably should have done, that type of interaction wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
it's
ignorance is what
it
it
is.
Yeah,
and you know how much can you slap a child for being ignorant when they're not being taught to not be ignorant?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, it is. I'd like to see this. Hopefully, these kids learn. You know, when stuff like this happens, man, I think too. Because, I mean, we've 117 episodes, and obviously we've known you guys for years, and, you know, we've had those, like, you know where Sean and I stand as far as white people, as far as all this stuff is concerned, right? You know what 100%. I mean? We always have, and I always have. However, that's not to say that I don't wish these white people that act a certain way that I don't really care about or care for don't change and become better. Because you have to give, I don't know if it's benefit of the doubt or whatever, but if you really believe, I think, in humanity and people's improvement. I wasn't the same person I was years ago.
No, I
was
wasn't
never
either,
racist, but I wasn't as, you know, whatever. I mean, we all improve. So, you know, I mean, you know, there's a documentary on Netflix right now about the gentleman that I think we've talked about it too, that has literally sat and talked with guys that were KKK members, and just through normal discussions, essentially through reason and logic, got them to leave. Like, so people can change. So I hope something comes out of this for those kids. Point being,
definitely,
that they learn why that man was up there doing that, and they learn about the Black Israelites and that movement and why they feel the way they feel. You know,
and maybe this is something that will actually spark that interest. Who knows?
Then the kid as well. I know in his statement he said something about he was trying to diffuse the situation. You standing in front of a grown man snickering and being snide is not trying to diffuse a situation.
Not at all. Not at all.
I read that and I was like, there's no way. It's like, what? Some PR company.
I think it's a PR firm, and I also think that, like, he's got a Twitter account too that's been reaching out to people saying that he's going to sue people or something for slander or whatnot. I mean, at that point, he's just defensive. He's going on the defense at that point. You know, it's just, again, I chalk it up to levels of cognitive dissonance, and I fully understand the cognitive dissonance within white people, and so because I am white and I have been through that. I've been through that path. I have been through the, like, you know, I know what it's like to grow up white and to not understand these things, and then to learn about them later on. So
as I always say, when these types of topics come up, I always give both of you props for your open-mindedness when it comes to how you approach it. Like, I never get a sense of bias from either one of you. It's always a fair point, but it's always honest and genuine. So hopefully the conversations that you guys have here, when it comes to those issues, maybe that'll spark conversation or spark an idea or something from someone else that might be watching us. So you never know who's watching or listening. So
Sean's awesome, man. I'll say give him. Sean's especially, I don't know if you do it as much anymore, but used to be, like, interact with people online a lot as far as that stuff. I can't do it.
It's not for everybody.
It's not.
It's not for everybody.
I don't like the way people are on the internet. I don't think people are the real self. You know what I mean? But however, it is the mode that people use a lot today.
Yeah,
and Sean's not afraid to address people there.
I don't see it as much. I don't see it as much. I had to kind of step away a little bit from my own mental health purposes. But you know, I unfollowed a lot of people. But if I see stuff, I interact with it. I try to choose and pick.
Call them out.
I try to pick, you know, appropriate ways to. I've adjusted how I speak.
Yeah.
You know, because if you come across combative sometimes to somebody who, again, cognitive dissonance is the word I keep using, or the phrase or term.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's hard to educate somebody that already feels like they have all the answers.
Extremely.
So it's like, all right.
Hey, shout out to the two ladies that were upset when we talked about 2% and ham.
Oh yeah, we appreciate.
We
them
hope
as
y'all
well.
still rocking with us. We appreciate the love.
Yeah, and anytime you guys are mad again, let us know. We definitely appreciate.
Somebody was
that.
mad at our ham comments.
Yeah, they didn't like how we treated 2% ham boy. Yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Well, haters gonna hate.
They are.
It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Thank you.
Shout out to Jay Moore as well, who was in the building.
He
St.
is.
Louis, we see you. He just slipped me his phone to show a new video that was released of those same kids that we're talking about from the Catholic school.
Was it the one where he yells out, "It's not rape if she enjoys it"? Or something
I hadn't seen
like
that. Yeah, I hadn't seen that. That's very interesting.
That's an interesting transition.
And guys, what this and just to put a bow, what this comes back to, the part of what is not, it's this level of arrogance. It's this level of I can say or do whatever I want. It is prevalent amongst privileged young white males, especially, man.
Yeah.
Wonder what changed in society to make them feel empowered.
Yeah.
That's another day, I guess.
Boy.
But yeah, that's interesting, man. I appreciate y'all for putting me on game. I was asleep on the rest of those pieces of it. I just
Sorry
saw.
I talked so long. I just
No, man.
it's an interesting topic. I actually watched way more than I probably should have about it.
I
this
did too.
week,
I watched that Hebrew Israelite video, and it was 2 hours. Like, man, it's 2 hours long. I started skipping through it.
They be downtown Indy sometimes.
Oh, word.
They are.
Yeah.
So that's what drew me to it was once I knew that they were there, because I had done some reading about them or that movement years ago. Just studied about just reading or whatever, and then it came back up when Damn came out. I was like, I knew what he was talking about. You know what I mean? And then so to find that out, I was like, okay.
I think
So
there's
how did
different
this
levels to
happen?
it, though. I think
Like-
there's like kind of like you have radical Islam and
Yeah.
regular Islam and black Islam. I think there's different levels to the different type of black Hebrew Israelites, so to speak.
Okay.
Like some of them like dress in these elaborate like outfits and stuff like that. So I don't know. It kind of depends on I hate to say denomination within a denomination, but that's pretty much what it is.
Right.
They have some takes on things that I think are very interesting.
That's what's up. I learned something on that. Good information, gentlemen. Let's go to Killer Mike. His Netflix special. I think it's called Killer Mike's. Is it Trigger Warning? Did I say that? Warning series? Is that right?
It
on
is.
Netflix. So they have
Did
it
you watch
listed.
it?
I watched the episode about the Bloods and Crips. But they have it listed as Killer Mike show explores issues of America that affect the black community, including drugs, gangs, religion, and poverty. And I saw the piece. Everybody was talking about, at least at the gig, about the Bloods and Crip piece in relation to the Hells Angels, with the merchandise, the cola. I can't remember the name. Cripacola. I think you
And
showed us
Blood
the
Pop.
ad as well. Blood Pop.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about that in terms of Mike making that comparison? Is that a fair assessment? Is that a fair comparison? Do we think this may gain some steam, maybe grow some legs to get to the point where some of the merch might work, might not? Do we think it? You know what I mean? Like, what do you guys think about just the concept, idea? I'll go to you first, Lone.
Conceptually, I'm not sure how real that show really is.
Oh, okay.
I think that soda is actually real, I believe.
It might be, but like I'm not sure. Like I think the concept of it is great,
Okay.
but I'm not sure how much of the show was scripted and how much of it wasn't. Only reason I say that is because one of the episodes, the New Africa one, they had like a lot of the same characters from previous episodes, and it just wasn't as good.
So
as
you're
the other
saying the
ones, but
plan might not be in place to actually make this
maybe
this
not.
happen.
I mean, they made a soda quick.
right?
I mean,
okay.
they came up with it like that.
Okay.
Look
No
at it.
telling how long it was shot for, though.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
True, but but still, I mean, that's a lot of loopholes and a lot of stuff. Anyways, back on the point. I think it's a good idea. So
Overall, I think the show it has good direction. You know what I'm saying? As far as the message it's trying to send out. Like, for example, the first episode is about trying to pretty much keep the dollar in the black neighborhood, or to
Right.
only see if you could survive off just supporting black businesses, so that that followed, I think it was like 48 hours. He was having a hard time.
72, I think.
72?
I think so. I could be wrong.
It was something like that, but he had to go this long just supporting black businesses.
Oh, okay.
And he had a show he had to travel to, so he couldn't travel because he couldn't use anything that wasn't made by someone black. So he couldn't use a car. He had to take a charter. He bought a bike. He was having trouble eating because the outsourcing wasn't from black farmers and things like that. So it's an interesting concept, but some of the information, in my opinion, was lost in translation as the episodes went on.
Yeah.
Like it started to get kind of gimmicky. You know what I'm saying? So like the 𝗏𝗏 the idea of it and what he was saying as far as how the Hell's Angels are making money off merchandise, whereas the Crips aren't. Mm-hmm. That made a lot of sense as far as the context that he's putting it in, because you can go buy a Hell's Angels T-shirt from Target.
I agree with that.
You can't buy Crip stuff anywhere, whether you want to support it or not. But like they had it's like a think tank type thing where people were drinking the soda, saying how they felt about the pop until they heard that it was made by Crips. And they had this whole kind of insight that they had inside of them. Well, that's not good. That's a negative and things like that. And the Crips came and talked to them, pretty much let them know that we're actually an organization that was put here to actually help our neighborhoods, and it's turned into what you see just from what you watch on TV and things of that nature. So,
that's dope.
I mean, I follow the energy that it's putting out, but like I said, it got lost in translation on some of those episodes.
Spoolz, jump in. You got any thoughts on this one?
I've watched one, and it was the same one that that we've talked about so far. And I thought, here's what I think so far. I plan on watching some episodes probably when I get home tonight, like wind down. But it's easy to consume. Terry, you mentioned it, like it's almost became a little gimmicky maybe over time, and I can see that. I kind of felt that in the one episode that I watched.
Not necessarily that episode. Like as you progress through I think it's like 6 episodes. Yeah. So once you start watching more episodes, that's when, to me, it became gimmicky.
It felt that way in parts of just the one episode that I watched. But maybe that's somewhat part of what makes it easy to consume at the same. And by easy to consume, I mean like it's fun in a way, but it's educational, and there's some real shit being talked about. But it's, maybe it's because of Killer Mike's person. I don't know, but there's something, I don't know, fun and easy to consume about that show that I liked. I really like Killer Mike a lot. I like his music and things, but I was talking to Sean about this too. There were a couple things I caught that Mike said that weren't necessarily, I didn't think, true. Especially, what did he say? I think he said, Coke kills 700,000 people a year, or Coke kills 200,000 people a year.
Talking about the drinking.
But that's what diabetes does.
Right.
You can't 100% correlate all of those deaths just to Coke, right? I'm just saying I'm not being real ticky-tack, but that's some real info that you're putting out there. And Killer Mike is going to do well, I think, in his life and his career outside of just hip-hop. I could see him being a good politician. People can relate to Killer Mike. He's the type of person that can relate to people, I think, of a lot of backgrounds,
100%.
a lot of economic situations, high, low, medium, whatever you are. But I got my eye and my ears on Killer Mike right now based on watching this show. I like real hard. Like I'd like to talk to Killer Mike sometimes too.
You'll watch the rest of it and then let's talk about that.
And I don't mean that in a bad way, because I have nothing but respect for Killer Mike. But
good brother.
Got to be careful sometimes with some of that, how you're using some of that information, man, because he is someone people are going to listen to a lot because of the type of person he is. And I don't know, it's a lot of power. He's going to end up having a little bit more power, I think, over time too. Probably deservingly so, but
hey, misleading numbers.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can dig it. I mean, he's sharing the truth, but he's not sharing the full truth as far as that particular equation.
And that was just a ticky-tack thing. But, but there were other things where, because he is passionate and because he does seem to know what he's talking about a lot, I think gullible people will go along just with him, hook, line, and sinker.
I think it makes sense that the show is called Trigger Warning, because it's certain things throughout that show are going to trigger you whether it be a positive or a negative.
Dude, I saw a clip, and I'm looking forward to seeing this show, where he seems to be teaching young kids about white privilege. And at some point, he actually tells a white kid who goes to, like, seemingly interrupts a young black kid. He tells him, like, no, something along the lines of, that's your white privilege coming out. You're going to wait until your turn, which is the right thing to tell a kid to do. You know what I mean? But I could see that triggering a lot of people.
Yeah, like, it can. Oh my God. But if you watch it, that's the whole thing about things being put in context. When you watch that episode, you'll kind of see why that happened in that particular moment, because he was like kept raising his hand. There was another kid that kept raising their hand too. So, I mean, you just gotta actually.
When I watched it, I wasn't triggered.
No, I'm saying
didn't make me feel, but I could see somebody watching that and being like
somebody else.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
I see why they put that part in the trailer. Like that's
because it's getting you to, it's drawing you to it.
Drew me in when I saw it
because it's semi-controversial or triggering, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah. Plus that entire episode is about teaching people with porn, so it's like
that's
the episode with that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to watching more of it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Killer Mike. I'm gonna have to check the rest of
that
these
episode
out.
Was kind of retarded to me, for lack of better words.
Yeah,
even though it's supposed to. I don't know. I didn't like as a whole.
Yeah,
the series. I like the idea of it, and I like where it's going. But I can't say that me watching that was like some super eye-opening experience for me. To be like, oh, this show is the shit. You're gonna learn something. I didn't take that away from that. Well, not the episode, but the overall season.
It definitely got cheesy at times.
Yeah.
And that was the one drawback to me. Like the intent was there, but sometimes it didn't seem like it was executed as well as it needed to be. But I liked the first 3 episodes pretty much all the way through for the most part.
The last episode was trash to me.
Which one was that?
Is that
That's the New Africa one.
Oh, that one was horrible. Yeah. It's like they ran out of time or something. I don't know.
I gotta peep the rest of them so I can get caught up to see.
Do that.
You know, if I feel the same way you guys feel about those.
I'd like another Killer Mike album without LP.
Do that. Yeah.
He said Run the Jewels 4's coming, which I like Run the Jewels too. I like them together.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm with Run the Jewels, but I also echo Spool's comment about Killer Mike. Like I definitely could take another Killer Mike solo album 100%.
And he can, rap music. LP produced a lot of it.
Rap music was amazing.
It was an incredible album, man.
Like, Killer Mike's very slept on as an
Shouts to my man Ace, dude. I was
100%.
When it came out, I was like, hey, I'll get around and listen. He was like, no, you need to listen to it. So he sat me down, burned a copy, and I was like, holy shit, like this is amazing.
Burned a copy, huh?
Burned a copy.
Yep. I went back and bought it.
I'm
He's
just
like,
saying
you
how
gotta
old
listen to
school
it now.
it is.
Yeah, how old that sound?
I still burn copies.
Yeah.
Yeah, my car doesn't have the adapter. You know.
Oh, okay. You don't got the aux cord.
Yeah.
You can buy
burn
one.
them. What?
You can buy like a little module.
Oh, you balling?
Like a CD.
Not at all.
It's like an MP3 CD joint.
Like in my other car, I got like this, so it plugs into the auxiliary.
I don't have an auxiliary.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Do you have a cigarette lighter?
Yeah.
I wonder if you could
Get
do
the
anything
FM
there.
transmitter joint. Those suck though. Don't do that.
Yeah. One of my homies had one of those. Those is trash. You don't even want to waste your time.
It's only
on
a 2004, but you know.
They don't put cigarette lighters in cars anymore, do they?
Good question.
Do they still? Like new ones?
Mm-hmm. They just don't put the actual lighter. They put the.
Just it's an AC.
Yeah, the AC adapter plug thing.
Huh. Oh well.
Well, what else we got there?
All right, man. Let's go talk. Let's talk a little music. Talk a little just culture in general. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Memphis, North Memphis, South Memphis, Beale Street, County seat. What am I missing?
Orange Mound.
Shout out to Philly, all of Philly. Meek, we see y'all. No smoke. We don't want any of that foolishness.
Mike doesn't want any foolishness.
We don't want any of that foolishness.
Scared.
So sports, I'm just thinking sports. I'm going to do sports real quick with Adrien Broner,
you just
dumbass.
Said music.
I'm going to go sports real quick, though, with Adrien Broner, dumbass.
Why did you transition to sports?
Because, man, I just want to make sure everybody understands how wrong he was saying, y'all know I won this fight.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? But then I want to go to the music. Did you see that? Anybody real quick? Y'all see how dumb that was?
Oh, yeah. We saw it.
Okay. He's an idiot. All right, now let's go. Let's go to the music.
No, I mean, we here now. Let's talk about it.
I mean, anything else to talk about other than that was stupid. I just want to make sure we got that in there. Is there anything? Would you like to elaborate? Please continue.
All right. Well,
Tell us how you feel.
Tell him how you feel,
Did you watch
son.
the fight?
I did watch the
Okay.
fight.
As did I.
Adrien Broner is he's I've always felt like this. He's a stereotype, a black stereotype.
Bravo.
And he's fucking embarrassing.
Bravo.
Every time he gets on anything where there's a camera or something he can talk, he embarrasses the fuck out of me like he's my little brother or something. I don't know. I don't understand why I feel this anger every time Adrien Broner starts talking. Yeah. How about that? It's really weird. And even for him to think he won that fight,
yeah.
what the fuck fight was he fighting?
Fam is mad embarrassing, man.
So, real quick, I'll get like my 2 cents out. All fighters are supposed to kind of, be at least confident, if not cocky. You know what I mean? But my understanding, having not watched the fight, just from looking at like stats and shit, was he got his ass whooped. He got dominated the entire fight.
Yeah.
Like threw fewer punches, landed fewer punches consistently, right?
Yeah.
So I can't speak to what you were saying as far as like being embarrassed as a black person, to see him doing some of those things. However, something that I find embarrassing, just period, is when I see people. I was talking to Sean about this before. Anyone who co-signed him saying that shit, like when I happened to look on Twitter or Facebook,
right?
I was just like, what the fuck is going on? How do you get to go in, lose a fight, come out, tell everyone that you won, and people are like, I feel your energy, bro. Like, what?
Nah.
What world do we live in where that can happen? Where you can say
Trump is president.
where Jim Gray's dumbass can say you're 3-3-1 in your last 7 fights. What's your plan for your next fight? And he says, well, I'd be 7-0 if I fought you.
Yeah.
And people
He's
ride for
Man.
that.
Nah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. No, stop putting shit on the hood.
Yep.
I mean,
We ain't feeling you, bro.
He's from Cincinnati, isn't he?
West
Yeah, he
Side. West Side.
Man, stop putting shit on God and them. You're
All of
a
that-
fucking embarrassment.
All of that shit is embarrassing.
And
All of it.
then for him to get in this press conference afterwards when they ask him, you really feel like you won. And then you compare it, you winning, to somebody asking for a slice of cheese on a burger.
He said it with conviction, like
That is the
laughing,
most
too.
dumbass analogy I've ever heard in my life.
Dude, people got to stop. And I mean, outside of the race thing, people got to stop. I mean, we'll talk about maybe Soulja Boy later co-signing that bullshit too.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, well,
People are whack.
I
You
think
lost.
it's
Adrien Broner would beat me up. That's fine, but that doesn't count. Like, you lost. Just
a different ball
keep
game,
it pushing.
Spoolz, you got about
He's
5
he's
inches
a-
on Adrien Broner, though.
Yeah, he's
in real life.
Oh,
He's
I'm
embarrassing.
Sure he whooped my ass. I mean, I don't fight professionally, so like, he does.
He's
gonna
supposed
beat me
to.
up.
He's
Yeah.
supposed to beat you up.
just like Cody Parker is supposed to make the field goal, the people that are kicking outside 3-1-2 aren't supposed to.
Great
exactly.
point, sir. Great point.
But yeah, fam is embarrassing across the board. I feel really, really bad every time he gets in a public speaking
He'll
setting.
never get a title bout again. Like,
yeah, he's a cornball.
he literally jacked that fight off. He didn't fight. Like, you had 12 rounds.
One round he threw 8 punches. I'm like,
Exactly.
Yeah, dude.
come on now.
You did not fight.
It ain't about.
And you stood on the fucking ropes like it was your day.
bruh.
Did you hear him too? All they wanted was to get through this one so that Pacquiao can fight Floyd again. Well, maybe had you whooped Manny Pacquiao's ass, maybe you could be fighting Floyd. And maybe
Floyd
you
never
could be
said he
getting
was
a
fighting
payday.
anybody though.
Exactly. But to his point, maybe if you took care of business,
Bro, that's
they might be
loser
talking
talk.
about you.
Yeah.
That's loser talk, 100%.
Sore
That's
ass loser
Yeah,
talk.
and you had something against me from the beginning. And, man, get out of here, bro. You got to show and prove.
Look,
and that's
Jim-
what fucks me up about Adrien Broner because he gets in these fights and he gets in these press conferences and he shows his whole ass
It's all pre-fight.
and then gets out there and gets his ass kicked.
He's all
literally.
pre-fight. Everything about him is pre-fight.
Yeah, man.
I've never defended Jim Gray
Nor have I.
in my life. I think he sucks. But I will defend Jim Gray in this instance.
Yeah.
Like, he was just telling it like it was, man.
Yeah, and Adrien was on one from the beginning. He was like, "Bring your motherfucking ass here so I can talk."
Yeah.
You know, I mean, come on, bro.
But people ride for that shit, man. Even when he loses, people still ride for that
Yeah.
shit. That's
Fam-
whack to me.
It's a
man.
small percentage, and
Fam is embarrassing.
I speak for the hood.
Thank you.
That there's a small percentage of people that fuck with Adrien Broner.
Fam is mad embarrassing.
He is.
All right, man. Let's talk about Draco.
Now you want to talk about some
Yeah, I'm
music
sorry.
now.
That Broner was on top of my card, man, so I apologize there. But Draco been out here in these streets He's been acting quite foolish, if you ask
cap.
me. He made me watch Everyday Struggle again. I ain't watched Everyday Struggle since probably Joe left, right?
Yeah.
But I kept seeing everybody talking about him and Everyday Struggle and academics and blah, 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 blah. So I watched it and I'm like, fam is in his bag about what he's done, who he has influenced, who he brought in the game. He mentioned Famous Dex. He mentioned Drake because Drake stole his flow from whatever one of his first singles was. They compared the songs and it was verbatim. But still, he's like, I taught Drake how to rap. I made Drake. I made this person. I made that person. And I'm like, why is this dude acting like a complete idiot? This is where I get lost in today's culture. I don't know the difference between people that are on drugs or people that are trolling, or if this is about record sales. I am completely lost in this generation when it comes to foolishness like this. Call me old. I don't give a damn. I'll be old. Because I have no idea what's going on. Oh, he's trolling. Come on, MC. You got to realize trolling. I don't know what that looks like. To me, for all I can know, he could be on drugs doing dumb shit for all I can know. So y'all going to have to help me on that because I'm completely lost. To me, he looks like a complete idiot. Spoolz.
I want to hear what Terry has to say first.
Let's go.
Oh, okay.
Talk to me now because I think he's an idiot.
Because I'm gonna be more on this, but with a different twist. So I want to hear a different side of it. So.
All right, so
I'm lost. Help your boy.
in my opinion, all right, these are not hard facts.
Okay.
These are my opinions, and I'm welcome to have them.
Sure.
Yeah, you are.
He's not
about
100% 100, so they say.
Yeah.
But I understand what he's saying. So, Soulja Boy has always been a character. Whenever you've seen him, he used to wear big ass glasses with Soulja Boy written on them.
Yep.
Fucking 4X jerseys and long ass jorts.
True.
With the bathing apes.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's always kind of been a character. But fast forward to now, you have to realize we were removed from being influential once he started, as far as influential to the youth. So he started a path that pretty much created the YouTube buzz for an artist, someone being signed from YouTube and being independent at that.
For the record,
He came in on the ringtone era.
For the record, I agree with him there. I'm not in opposed to that.
That's
him
fine.
being that guy, the YouTube, bringing that generation up. He definitely was the first person to pop that off. I'm not mad at that. Go ahead.
All right, so that's where he's coming from as far as saying people need to pay homage to him, whatnot, whatever. Part two, he's an entertainer.
Okay.
He was going in on how he was had the biggest comeback of last year. Everybody know that's not true.
What did he come back from?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Being
Good
a
point.
fucking idiot and doing dumb shit on his own
Yeah.
Oh.
is what he came back from. Yeah.
I mean,
Everybody
Well, all
knows
right.
that's not true.
okay.
But he has put himself in a position to win. For somebody that started out in the YouTube game
Yeah.
as the first artist to do that,
100%.
and he is now pretty much following that same trend again, going back. Whether his music is popping or not, his sales went up, his streams went up. He's popping, like they say.
Yep.
Shout out to Laura Poppington.
Shout out to Laura Poppington. We see you.
That's right.
It is just that whole energy that, you know what I'm saying, creates this perfect storm for you to actually be on the forefront. Everything he says is, well, I won't say everything he says. A lot of shit he says is bullshit.
Right.
But him, as far as publicizing his video game system and trying to be an entrepreneur and things like that, that's just dope to me. You know what I'm saying? Trying to promote himself as a video game developer, even though it's just games that he put on his. What's funny about that, though?
It's an emulator. He didn't develop
That's
any
what I
video
was about
game.
to say. Yeah. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
But at the same
don't
time,
call him a video game developer,
That's huge.
bro.
at the
People
same
go to school
time,
for that.
They do.
He's not that.
He's not that. Yeah.
Maybe not, but he's still an entrepreneur that slapped his name on some shit.
I'm with that part. Okay.
And-
I'll follow you there.
And for people to kind of say that, oh, he's not doing nothing, but yet you bought another emulator or something, and that was cool. But because he's making it, now it's on some fuck shit. That's the type of shit I don't like
Okay.
and I don't stand for. Like, especially academics trying to sun him. You know
Super
what I'm saying?
cornball.
I
I'm
would
not
agree
going
with
for
you
that.
there, Terry. I would love to see Soulja Boy. Well, I watched that when he told him to shut the fuck up a couple times.
Yeah.
Stuff like semi-fighting words, and academics just ate it, dude. He's not that dude. You know what I mean? To say anything back.
I ain't like how he tried to play Soulja Boy. Now I will say that like he was trying to come at him like he really, I guess, wasn't Soulja Boy. Like I think he was on bullshit there.
I mean, they did it on the
Academics is
Breakfast
a clown
Club too,
within
though.
himself. It's
They
a
did it
clown
on-
show.
Yeah, they did it on the Breakfast Club too.
Charlamagne was asking him dumbass questions too. So they
Charlamagne
tried to
was-
play him also. I agree.
Charlamagne was definitely trying to play him.
Yep.
Like as far as what are you doing? Let me check your nose.
Let me check.
Shit.
Yeah, all that dumb
That's
shit.
just
That's
corny.
stupid.
I'm cool on that.
I am too.
But when Charlamagne started talking about his book,
he showed him
Soulja
love.
Boy was like, I want a book. I want to read it. But when he's talking about his product, everything's all fun and games. That's the reason why I ain't tripping about y'all laughing about the shit. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, some of it is funny. But at the same time, you have to applaud him for trying to think outside of the box and do something different.
Yeah,
Not
So
bad at
here's
that.
where I'll jump in just real quick. So
Not
to-
bad at that.
Just like Ja Rule. Continue.
I hate
That's a great point. No, and to
That's
your
a little
point,
different.
Terry, like, there's some truth to what Terry said and to I guess what he was saying too, as far as people copying his swag. Like, I just feel like I feel like it's all a whole bunch of who gives a fuck bullshit. Like, you're a pop artist who. Side note, do you ever hear him give any props to the people that helped him? I've never have. I don't care for the dude's just whole overall aura. He represents to me this kind of fake it till you make it, smoke and mirrors, tell you something really good, but it's not really what I'm telling you it is. I'm going to give you the impression I'm something that I'm really not. Like, and I feel like that's super prevalent in our society today. And I think he just pushes that forward. Similarly, when he was going off in his rants, I had the biggest comeback. And yes, I laughed during some of that
Yeah,
stuff
that was
too.
funny.
I
But
did
like
too.
everything you came back from, you did yourself. You looked like an idiot with those bloods out in fucking Compton. You would have got your ass whooped by Chris Brown in front of the whole world had you decided to go through with that fight. You're the one threatening to kill people on your Facebook Live and all that stuff. So what'd you come back from?
He also had to kill one of his friends. So I
don't
mean, he
know
has to
anything
have.
about that.
He has to be feeling like something had to affect him naturally for you to have to kill one of somebody that you knew that was trying to rob you.
When did that happen?
Yeah.
That happened early on, like when the robbers ran into his house.
He didn't kill anybody.
Yes, he did.
No, because all five of them are interviewed on.
No,
Vlad
one
TV.
person died.
I don't think that's true.
All right, well,
We'll have to
That could have been
fact check
another
that, yeah.
incident because the dude who got shot 5 times by Soulja Boy was interviewed on Vlad TV.
Yeah. Recently. Was it recent?
It wasn't
I
recent,
saw it.
but he
I
was,
saw it
but he was
yesterday.
interviewed, yeah.
I watched it in the
Yeah.
last week, but I don't know if it's
It was
So
one
the
of
point being,
it was
to
one
me,
of
he just
Vlad's
represents
flashbacks.
this kind of aura of like, I don't have to really be good at. I mean, that's kind of where we're at in our society today too. I don't really have to be good at anything. I just kind of have to be entertaining and gain people's attention. I don't have to put anything good out into the universe. I just have to kind of get everybody to pay attention to me and throw kind of the biggest fit I can so that people pay attention to me. Kudos to him for recognizing that that gets you what you want or whatever it is that he desires. That's not his fault. That's our fault as people. Like, you don't have to pay. We don't have to pay attention to that shit.
It's a consumer's fault.
But people
100%.
do. You know, he's only doing what he can get away with so he can make. So kudos to him, man. Did he, like with the YouTube shit and what you were talking about, was he a
Pioneer.
pioneer kind of in that way from a pop rap 14-year-old dude making shitty music?
He
Yes, he was.
absolutely
yeah, big
was.
time he was. Does anybody like the fact that came along in music? Anybody?
some people do.
Not me. Not
lot of
anybody that
people
gives
do.
a shit about hip hop. Do you think that did anything good for hip hop in general?
Yeah,
I don't.
Soulja Boy success.
Yes.
yeah.
I think YouTube did. I don't think Soulja Boy did.
The
So
whole,
do you think
the whole
Soulja Boy gives a
process.
fuck about hip hop?
No, I don't.
I mean, that's
These are the
not
things
that's
that
not
bother
the
me.
context that I'm talking about with Soulja Boy. This isn't a hip hop pioneer per se.
He trying to come off as one though.
He's
He's trying to
for
come off as one.
the people that came up under him.
Right. He's trying to
He
come off as
definitely.
one.
I mean, the Migos said we were influenced by him. A lot of
Yeah.
people have said that. I mean, that's truth though.
Yeah.
It's and the thing is, I don't take him away. Like, he can't help that.
No, he can't.
You know, the blind leading the blind. You can't get. The blind man being led. He can't do anything about that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like
Soulja Boy being an entrepreneur, Soulja Boy trying to get his bread, Soulja Boy trying to have a portfolio. I'm not mad at that.
Nor I.
I get that. But some of the stuff that he's doing, to Spool's point, I'm like, come on, man. Like, what are you trying to prove here other than, and this goes back to my original point about me not knowing what the end game is. From what you're telling me is he's doing whatever it takes to get notoriety, success, and he wants to get the views. The eye is on him.
Like I said, these aren't facts. These are this is my opinion.
But I'm going off what you're telling me. That's the way I take it. This is so I can get as much attention as possible by any means necessary. Right? And if I have to look like an idiot, so be it. Like, that's the way I see it. Is that the end game?
He doesn't look like an idiot to a majority of the people out here, though.
But that's the consumer's fault, though.
And that's society. That's
sad.
Where
we are.
That's unfortunate for us if he doesn't. If the majority of the people, and I don't mean they have to think the way I think necessarily, but if what Terry just said is true, actually true, then it's a sadder state of things in where what's going on than I even thought, man.
If
the majority of people gave a fuck about that or took any of that seriously or it mattered to them at all, that's unfortunate, man.
What's supposed to matter to them?
Shit that actually matters. The things that affect your life, I would think, would be a little bit more important than a 20-some-year-old kid throwing a fit on the internet about some shit that's kind of true and kind of not. It's all about entertainment, man.
Exactly.
How about the things that aren't entertaining?
That's
that
what I
should
said.
matter, right?
At the end of the day, it's
The
entertainment.
wall. The government shutdown.
That's very entertaining too.
You know what I'm saying? No, I think that matters,
way.
and that's what people probably should maybe more focus on. But again, I mean, everybody has the right to live their life the way that they want and
get your bag, Soulja.
value things accordingly, right? So,
I got a couple. I know we're getting close. I got a couple quick hits since we talking about Soulja from Atlanta.
We need to talk about Fyre Fest real quick.
Oh, I mean, y'all can talk about that. I'm cool on.
Do you guys want to do it next week? Do you want to give him a chance to like watch the documentary?
Yeah, that's probably good.
Because it's going to be a good discussion, I think.
Yeah.
Netflix, Hulu.
I need to watch
either
both
one of them. It's two of them.
Okay.
I still need to watch the Hulu one.
Me too.
Okay, so I'll do that. I'll be prepped for that next week. I just want to give Big Boy love for copping a dungeon, becoming an owner.
Yeah, man,
You know
that
what
was
I'm
cool
saying? Like,
news.
That's dope. To me, that's dope. Him buying.
That's cool.
I guess
Buying
it's
a
about
dungeon.
equal, since he's doing the Super Bowl, is he trying to balance
Trying to
that
balance out the bullshit.
You think that's what it is?
It's all good. That's cool.
If he would have bought it and gave it to Rico, that would have been even
Man,
cooler.
that's tough. Yeah, but I think that's cold. Like that they actually copped it. So the dungeon's legendary. So shout out to Big Boy for doing that.
Y'all better give Young Draco his due, man.
Hey man, get your,
Playing with Young Draco.
Draco, get your bread, man.
No, man.
Get
the
your
best
bread.
he can get out of me is a laugh.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody knows Draco, you cannot mention Soulja Boy and like, especially the type of hip hop that you like in the same sentence. You know that does not go together.
What does it?
That's oil and water.
What's that?
Soulja Boy and what you
Soulja
like.
Boy and what you like.
Oh, I know. I don't care for that at all.
Right.
But the thing is, there's plenty of people that do what Soulja Boy does that don't act like fucking babies, and even worse, people don't eat it up. That's the weird part to me. You know what I'm saying?
It's the norm now.
Side note: he made an emulator that you can buy for half the price he's selling it for on his website from the manufacturer.
He did.
So if we want to talk about like entrepreneur, like dude, he owned a club in Atlanta. Neat, man. You should.
That's neat.
You know,
How
like
about that?
here's all I'll say. So he's gonna do what and that's great. I mean, but I just think it's sad to me, and this sounds super judgy, but I don't care. It's sad to me that people care that much about any of that, and it's even sadder to me that people, when I see stuff like, I really feel Soulja's energy. That's gonna be my energy for 2019. It's like,
I mean, but it
okey-dokey.
kind of works both ways though. So you have people that feel this way because, like, honestly, I'm not a Soulja Boy fan by the least. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking on what I've seen and how he's maneuvering. I actually think it's kind of cool.
But it being just his whole campaign and what he's doing.
Yeah, I understand what he's doing.
Okay.
Because it makes sense in today's society. It makes absolute sense for him to do that.
Completely
So it's
agree.
not dumb in any way, shape, or form. It's not dumb.
See, that's
so you might be taking a little bit from what he's doing.
I think that's the part to me that is subjective, because if it's successful or not doesn't take away from the fact that someone can look at it and be like, I think that's fucking stupid.
It's the same argument as, hey, get your bag.
There it is.
Which you always say.
Here's
Get
the
your
thing,
ba-
though.
I just said it, but I still can say it's stupid. It looks stupid to me from the outside.
If
I'm removed
Soulja
from
Boy
it.
can go to bed at night
But get your bag.
and look in the mirror and say, I'm happy with myself, and then that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
That's as far as on the personal note.
Yeah,
right?
personal note. Yeah.
Good. If you
Get
can
your
do
bag.
that, great. If not, what would have been cool to me, and what I think we probably need a little bit more of is if Soulja Boy gets an interview and he goes, you know what, guys, I wilded the fuck out for the last 2 years. I don't know what I was doing. It made no sense.
That'll come on the Behind the Music.
But you know
10
what,
years
guys?
later.
I learned this and this and this, and here's how my life has improved, and here's the things I'm doing to help other people. And thanks to all you guys that helped put me here. But that's not what we see.
That's never going to happen with anybody, though.
That's not true
Who
at
does
all,
that?
Terry.
Who
real
does that?
people, real human
Who
beings.
does that?
E40, Scarface.
How long
real
has he
people.
been doing it?
I'll find you an interview with somebody Soulja Boy's age that can actually be humble enough to say that somebody has helped them. I'll do it before I go to bed tonight. I'll find it.
But that falls back to the entertainment aspect of it. He's doing this in an entertaining platform or whatever, so
Yeah.
people will look at it. It makes sense.
So that's what
he's seizing what he started. He came in the industry doing the same thing. Why would he change the formula now?
I ain't say what I'm saying is just because he didn't change the formula that he's doing doesn't mean that he doesn't look like a jackass doing it. That's what I'm saying. He can do what he want.
He still doesn't look as bad as Broner, in my opinion. Still,
I ain't mad at you there
because you can catch him backstage where he's real humble.
Who talking about Soulja Boy?
When dude ran up on him talking about this,
Casanova.
that. Exactly.
Yeah.
He was real humble then, right?
It was a human side, 100%.
So it's
100%.
different. You know what I'm saying? He's showing
100%.
you what he wants to show you because it's going to generate these views and revenues.
I see a master troll at work. Maybe that's what it is. Like I said, I'm just trying to figure out the space. I need to know what's going on because I'm lost out here. So thank you for, kind of point me in the right direction because I'm lost out here. But
find your way.
Like Lone said, get your bag.
Hey, this is a good conversation you guys had.
It's interesting. It is interesting.
Anybody got anything popping, man? Did we miss anything? I know we went over a little bit.
Hip Hop Night is this weekend at Square Cat Vinyl.
25th.
This
25th?
Sunday, I turned 36.
Hey,
That's it.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Start my
Early
36th,
birthday to Spoolz.
36th chamber.
Lo-Fi Saturday nights at Patron Saint, 7 to 10.
David Peck, we see you. That is a dope event. I hope it continues to grow.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think we can go ahead and wrap it up there. Episode 117. Again, shout out to all our sponsors. Coleman Dental, 317-255-8546. Printfinity, as always. BringingDownTheBand.com. Indie CD and vinyl. No bad ideas. We appreciate you all. Shout out to the patrons. We appreciate you guys as well. And I guess we'll see y'all next week.
I got Printfinity emulators on sale right now. I am a video game distributor and programmer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But
holla at me.
here's the funny thing: you can buy it on Printfinity for $300, or you can just go to Acme and get it for $150.
but you should get it from me because I got some extra shit on there, like my logos on there.
The buttons stick a little more.
I got the section leaders joint on there. All kinds of shit.
Get it.
It's on there.